Hello and welcome to my second part of my first playthrough of the forest. Previously we crashed at the main cannibal village and then we made our trek all the way down to the yacht, boat or ship, depending on who you ask. And as you can see, we're still building that raft. But in all fairness, I did forget that you can't build the raft with the materials because you can't collect it and carry it to the raft. So always build your raft on the beach. So the main point of concern right now is to sort of finish building that raft and figure out what we need to do from then onwards. But important thing to remember about the forest, as you can see, my hunger and dehydration is down still, is that when you go to bed in the forest, you always wake up hungry and dehydrated. So best thing is never to eat or drink before you go to bed, because you'll just be wasting resources. So I'm just flicking through the manual now to figure out what sort of things we want on that raft. Now the main ones I like to add to it is the drying rack, water collectors, and a fire, just to make sure we have access to food and clean drinking water. Now, for some reason I had the bright idea of collecting the relevant firewood for a fire. Now that would be smart had I not had the idea of placing it on the beach. As you can see, I'm a little bit rusty here. Now, the main reason for not putting it on the beach, there's a few. So, firstly, it can draw cannibals with the flames. I'm not sure about the smoke, but I know the fire and the light can. Also, why would I do that when I'm living on the boat? Doesn't really make any sense, because then I have to keep swimming back and forth to put food on the fire. And I'm not too sure if the cannibals actually eat the food off the fire, but I know that they can eat food off the drying rack. Maybe that was just a myth that I've led myself to believe. So one of the main sort of resources for fires obviously is sticks, stones, and then there's also leaves to top up the fire as well. And I'm not too sure why I have so many leaves. I think they're just automatically collected when I'm doing some other stuff as well. But luckily, saner thoughts prevailed and decided to dismantle that fire. But I'm not too sure if that's a sort of risk of losing some more resources than you should have. Now, I've sped up a little bit of the swimming, but I'm not going to skip it just for you guys, because you need to endure the pain that I felt doing this as well. Now, I'm trying to figure out how to place this fire on the boat, but it appears that that's not doable. So you guys can save yourselves some trouble as well trying to build that, because I was trying to figure out what I was doing wrong, but I think you need to build your own stuff before you can place anything down. It can't be any sort of in-game buildings, I guess. But yeah, I've sped up a little bit of the grinding process just so you guys won't have to sit through all of that. So one of the last sort of resources I need for the raft, it's not just the logs, the sticks or anything like that, is that I need rope. Now, if you don't have access to any rope, you can build it with a bit of cloth. The best way to get cloth is to sort of smash up some suitcases and then you can go from there. But I know at the cannibal village you can go collect some cloth and it all respawns, it's all good. But I'm sure you guys can enjoy some of my hacking skills on the way. And then ferrying it over to the raft, pun intended. There she falls. Now you might notice that I look around all the time. Now that's because I'm a completely paranoid person on this game. Because I don't know if you guys can pick it up or hear it as well, that intermittently you'll hear just random screaming. And eventually later game as well, they start to approach you from the woods, so it's always a little bit scary. And they absolutely hate leaving chopped tree stumps. Now you can get rid of them by just hammering the shit out of a stump, but be wary, because that can take ages, so I tend not to do it. But lucky for you guys, I've sped up the whole swimming process of ferrying these logs, because not only do you swim slower in this game, you swim even slower behind a log, which makes complete sense, but no one wants to see that. So with the raft built now, I can place down that fire, but also place down those drying racks and water collectors, so that when I'm traveling around the island, I can keep hydrated and keep hydrated and have access to food. So now I'm just going to cook up some food, but be wary because if you leave the food on too long, it can burn, and I think that reduces the nutritional value of the food, so it's just wasteful. Now this is the setup I like for my raft, but each to their own, I guess. Oh, look at the little toe on the background. Yeah, unlucky for him in the future, but now I've built the raft, I can actually move it closer to where I need. But first I need to put some water collectors down. Putting down 2 at the moment, but I think I'm gonna wanna increase that amount because the water collectors, well, they're good, but they don't always collect enough rainwater. But the good thing about rain collectors is that it's all sanitized and clean drinking water, so that's all good. And I'll build another raft here. Now, one of the long swims again for this game, but that's no fault of you guys, that's all my fault. I'm not too sure why I didn't grab the raft straight away, but at least you guys can see my sort of limited brain logic. And also with rafts, I don't know if it's just my game, but you can only get up through the back where the rudder is. Otherwise they won't let you onto the raft, so just be aware of that as well. Now I'm about to eat some burnt meat, so enjoy that. I have no idea why I didn't bring the raft with me. Kind of heartbreaking to watch it. Right, so that early turtle that died for our sins didn't die in vain. He was useful in the end. But I've tried to speed up a little bit of the whole grind process here for you guys. It's a bit tedious cutting down all these twigs. And I've always wondered, are these saplings or something else? Because why would they be growing so close to each other, firstly? And what sort of plant is that? You know, hard bit of charcoal. Still filled me up in all fairness, but it's not exactly 101 for surviving on the forest. Another little swim back. Yeah, I'm just cutting towards collecting some more resources for the raft because it's too longer than expected as well. This game especially is, I had a look at the reviews for the game, and some people mark this as grindy but not too much. I don't know, it feels pretty grindy to me. And this raft is only a simple raft. There's a more expensive one, I guess you can call it, where it has like 48 logs, for example. And if you think about it, 4 logs per tree, that's a big number. 12 trees, quick maths. Yeah, so I'd consider it grindy, but there we are. Almost built all my raft up there. Had a bit of meat on as well. I'm trying to figure out how to use the raft here. I'm thinking, why aren't they moving? And I realise you need to press forward and back, and you can't just use your WSD keypads. Now I'm a bit wary here because I didn't want the cannibals to run around and eat my food, so I've left it a little bit off the shore while I farm. So when you hang up a bit of food as well, it's important to note that it can dry out the meat as well, so it's all good when you do that. Now, this bloody turtle just wouldn't have it. I mean, what is that, like 4 strikes to the back and he's chilling. I was thinking about how old turtles live as well. They live for like hundreds of years, and I'm holding his head in my hand. So, poor turtle. His friends are running away as well. And I don't actually think they're aggro to that. Like, when you kill a turtle, I don't think they run away. Well, do they run? They don't move away, I don't think. So, that's good news for us, for easy food supply. And also for building our water collectors. Now I'm just trying to figure out how to use that raft again. We had to put down my twigs as well. But I'm always conscious of like what I need to do next. And I know there's a campsite nearby that we can use an old pot to store water. Now I've edited out the whole travel time because it was a bit long, as you can see on the map. So we have a fair bit of the southern island explored now, so that's good news. But as you can see, we've got some company here. Now I do think I could actually take this guy, but do you want to draw first blood when you live on a hostile island? I don't know. There's a few films where the protagonist actually brought the violence with native inhabitants, so that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a little bit safer than that. But if you're ever in an emergency as well, those sleeping bags you can sleep in and save your game. It's always a good idea if you're low on health or anything like that. But I know some people play the forest. They don't like to save scum. They don't like to reload. They just play with the game. But I think for this purpose, it might be a good idea to keep. Now I edited out the first bit because no one wants to see that, but now you get to see the sunset as much as I can enjoy it. Now, I know there are patrols in this game, so the mechanics of the cannibals is that they can follow, they can get aggro to you, but they have lots of patrols. They just run across the beach. So if you do build there, just know that you're going to get some company there as well. Now, as you can see, it's getting dark. Look how quickly it gets dark, so scary stuff. Now, with this game, when it gets dark, it gets dark, and it's really hard to see. But yeah, time for bed, I think, for this one. But yeah, not too bad for the first one. We had the raft built, and yeah, nice little save game for us there. And time for sleep. So yeah, day 2 survived. Like and comment and subscribe for more.